Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Vocab Malone, a special kind of demon. And that's pretty much a title that Elder Apostle Tahar threw out there. We call vocab a special kind of demon, so I just using that as a title for this lesson. I really don't have anything prepared, I'm just say a few words on it. Elder Apostle Tahar and Elder Apostle Gabar both did videos on the Elijah thing and reincarnation, and they pretty much covered, everything that needed to be covered. I mean, if the Spirit hits me with anything, I'll bring it out. But that just goes to show, that Vocab Malone is a special kind of demon, because that's what he's set up for. He's a bought and paid for, and he's a gatekeeper for plantation Christianity, which is nothing more than lightly veiled, and not even lightly veiled. It's nothing more than white supremacy, and this is what they do, and he was set up, that's why he got into the hip-hop thing, because that was a part of his shtick, so to speak. You hear Apostle Gabar say that all the time, the word shtick. And that's what he does. He learned, he got into the hip hop thing, which he's a lousy rapper, sorry to say. And he went to school, to learn the dogma of plantation Christianity, to keep Jake asleep, and to try to, be cool with that, that lousy hip hop that I can't even call it hip hop. I mean, there's lousy raps that he I can't even say spits, But nevertheless, that's what he was set up for, and see, with Vocab Malone, he knows exactly what he's doing. That's why he's a special kind of demon. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that what we're teaching is the truth. And he even pretty much admitted that John the Baptist, was Elijah the prophet in the reincarnation, and that our Lord Yahushua said that. But then he's gonna go to Luke and say that he came in the spirit and power of Elijah. Well, what is the spirit? The spirit is what goes back to the Heavenly Father. Let's go real quick to Ecclesiastes. I've got 3 precepts that came to mind. I hope I can remember all of them. Just bear with me. Okay. All right, now let's start here. Let's start in Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. It says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was." What is the dust? That is the flesh, the body. Because the Lord told Adam, of dust thou was taken, unto dust thou shalt return. So this body, which decomposes and turns to dust, goes back into the earth, right? It says, "And the spirit shall return unto the Most High, who gave it." So the Most High gave that body. The Most High gave, he gave the body too, but he gave that spirit to be located within that body. And the reason why the spirit of people go up into the heavens is because man commits iniquities. Now the animals, reptiles, animals, whales, birds and all that, when they die, their spirit stays on the earth, because they don't have to go before the throne of the Lord to be judged, because they're in their right mind, so to speak. In other words, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're animals, they're beasts. This is real quick, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. I'll start at 19. "For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts," meaning what? Death. even one thing befalleth them, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man has no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. That's right. All go into one place, not two places, all go into one place. All are of the dust, and all turn to dust again, meaning those bodies. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downwards to the earth, because their spirit stays down here, because they don't have to go before the throne of the Lord to be judged. You see? And as Elder Apostle Gabar explained, death is a transition of the spirit from the suit of clothing on earth to the suit of clothing in the spirit world. Just like a spirit, when a spirit is sent down, when a man and a woman are having sex, and that woman conceives seed, that spirit is shot down into that sperm cell, and that sperm becomes a body nourished by the egg that's in the woman, and that body grows, and that body is what houses or the suit of clothing for that spirit in that lifetime. So then when that individual dies, whether they die as a baby or middle age or of old age, once the spirit leaves that body, it goes up into the heavens, and it has another suit of clothing up in the heavens. So the spirit always has a suit of clothing, whether it's in this dimension or the fourth dimension in the spirit world. And that's pretty much what it is. So when Enoch was translated, when Elijah was translated, they both were changed into their spiritual bodies, their celestial bodies, which the scriptures speak about the terrestrial bodies and celestial bodies. They were changed into their terrestrial bodies. From their terrestrial bodies into their celestial bodies, because the terrestrial body cannot go into that dimension. The terrestrial body cannot breathe at a certain altitude. That's why the Apostle Paul said that in the twinkling of an eye we shall be changed. So those of us that do make it, Lord's will, we are part of the elect. As the body's going up, these same bodies will be going up. But when you hit a certain point in the atmosphere, however many feet up or however far up it is, the bodies will be changed, and the new body will be put in there, because the body cannot breathe in the outer atmosphere. And this is the reason why the Lord set up the firmament, which is the ozone layer, to separate the outer atmosphere from the inner atmosphere, because the outer atmosphere is spread further apart. That's why you won't be able to breathe. That's why you need oxygen masks and different suits and all of that. But on the earth, the elements are tighter together to where we can breathe oxygen without needing a mask. And then when you go into the sea, the elements are tighter together, because that is the atmosphere for the fish, which when man goes into the water, they have to wear, unless they hold their breath for a long time, they have to wear, something that they can breathe underwater in, So when Enoch and Elijah were translated, all that happened was when they got to a certain height, their bodies were changed into that celestial body that they have up in the heavens, and they appeared before the Lord. But they kept coming back down, because the spirit never dies. That's what we read in Ecclesiastes 12:7. It says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it." Now there's some precepts there, but before I go to those precepts there, let's go real quick to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 9. "Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence." And that's true. We had parents, we had fathers, and they would correct us, and then we would reverence them, right? Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? So who is the Father of spirits? The Most High, because back here in Ecclesiastes 12:7, it says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to the Most High who gave it." So the Most High is the Father of spirits, right? And we should be in subjection unto him, and like the scripture say, and live. Let's see, there's a precept here for Father of Spirits. That's the 9th verse. Let's go to this and see what that says. Job chapter 12, verse 10. Let's see what that says. Yep. Job chapter 12, verse 9. Who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? Verse 10. In whose hand is the soul of every living thing and the breath of all mankind. So the Most High is the one that's in control. And that's why let's go to Ezekiel. Trying to remember the chapter in Ezekiel. Let's see. Is that the 18th chapter? If not, I'll look it up in the concordance. Let's see. Yep. Ezekiel 18:4. Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. Right. So the Father is not going to pay for the sins of the Son. Neither is the Son going to pay for the sins of the Father. So now, that being the case, what does this mean in the book of Numbers? There's one in Exodus also. Numbers, the 14th chapter and the 18th verse. The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. So what does that mean? Now, before we go into that, let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah 14 and 21, because we read that the Father is not going to pay for the sins of the Son, neither shall the Son pay for the sins of the Father. So what does this mean? Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So what does that mean? That means that the children are going to pay for the sins of the father. But how could that be if the son will not pay for the sins of the father, neither shall the father pay for the sins of the son? It's very simple. The only way you could explain that is through something called reincarnation or regeneration. That's what that means. So the crimes that Esau and the other nations committed in the past as their forefathers is going to be visited upon these children now. Why? Because they are back in their lot. Their spirit, that spirit that was back then in a different body, is back here today in a different body with a different look, and they're being prepared for slaughter for the things that they did in the past. That's why we read Numbers 14:18. The Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. Why? Because they sinned. And if we read the scriptures and it says that the father shall not pay for the sins of the son, or vice versa, then how in the hell can the sins of the father be visited upon the children to the 3rd and 4th generation? Because they were those fathers that sinned. That's why without regeneration or reincarnation, there are certain scriptures that you won't be able to understand. There are certain scriptures that will seem contradictory. And this is what that demon vocab is doing. He's playing on the ignorance of these plantationalized Christianity-minded jakes out there that are following behind him. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why Elder Pastor said vocab's a special kind of demon. So this lesson is called Vocab Malone is a special kind of demon, the water to the apostle for the title. So now I have something else, but before I go there, let me grab that precept real quick so I don't forget it. But what I want to do is I want to go to some of these precepts that are in the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. That's verse 7. Genesis 3:19, which that goes back to the body going back to the earth. And this one in 3:21, which we read that Ecclesiastes 3. Yep, we read that, so I'll read it again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of beast that goeth downward to the earth? So let's see now. Q 21. 12 and 7 goes back to Hebrew of the sons of man. So okay, so that pretty much that's it on that. Let me see anything else. H. And H goes back to Numbers 16 and 22. Let's see what that says. Numbers 16 and 22. Just bear with me 1 second. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 22. It says, and they fell upon their faces and said, O power, the power of the spirits of all flesh. Shall one man sin, and will thou be wroth with all the congregation? So letting you know that the Most High is the Father of spirits, which we read in several scriptures. All right, so now there's another one here. What is that? Job 34:14. Let me just get that before I hit the last point. And you know, dealing with vocab is weak sauce, man. That dude is I mean, I don't see how they even were able to pay this guy to do anything. But he's doing his job, because he's got a lot of Israelites out there blinded. Okay, that's going into something a little different. Let's see, there's one more here, and then like I said, I get the last point. What is that? Just let me see what this says, and if not, if it's going to something else, then we'll move on to the next point. That's a pretty good one. It's Zechariah 12:1. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. That's right, because the Most High is the Father of spirits, because all spirits come from him. He is a power source that he's that power source that all of our spirits come from. We all have a portion of the Lord's Spirit, of the Most High Spirit, you know, because all spirits come from him. He's the creator of all those spirits. And that's why the scriptures speak about the Most High being a consuming fire, because all the Spirit is nothing more than fire. The angels are ministers, his ministers are fire. And that's why when the Spirit leaves the body turns cold. And the reason why is because the Spirit that's in us is what is a power source of the body. And once that power source leaves, the body gets cold and it stiffens up, what they call rigor mortis. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. Let's move on to the next point, and the next point being in the book of Revelation chapter 10, and I'll start at 8. It says, "And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth." And this was the Apostle John that was told to do this. It says, "And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter." And this reminds me of Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, where it says that in the book were lamentations and mournings and woe. You know, because it's sweet to find out that we're the Israelites and that we got a kingdom coming, but then the bitterness of everything else, you know, tends to sometimes seem like it outweighs the sweetness, you know. But that's the hope. The sweetness is the hope, you know, of the kingdom of heaven, which is coming soon. All right. So this is the point now, verse 11. "And he said unto me," meaning the angel said unto John, the revelator, or John, the Apostle John, "Thou must prophesy again," right? "Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings." So when did that happen? Because at the time when this was written, the Apostle John was very old. So when did that happen? When was he freed from the island of Patmos and went and prophesied before many kings and nations and tongues? That didn't happen back then. So what is it saying here? It's saying that this individual, the Apostle John, would once again prophesy before many kings and nations and peoples. So what does that mean? If he didn't do it back then, if there's no record of it being done back then because he was in his old age, and more than likely he died on the island of Patmos because he had to be like in his 90s back then. So when would that be fulfilled? Because the Lord said his words don't go out void. When would the Apostle John be prophesying again before many kings and tongues and peoples? And if he didn't do it back then, when will he do it? And how is he going to do it if he didn't do it back then? Because of reincarnation. And there's many scriptures in the Bible that speak about reincarnation. There was either one demon we used to deal with back in the days. His name was Prophet 613. We used to call him False Prophet 666. You know, and he was adamant against the reincarnation thing. But after a while, when we asked him, he said he was uncertain. He had to look into it more because he started to see the scriptures that we were bringing out, that it was a possibility that there could be reincarnation. But see, the thing about them individuals back then, they don't want to give Great Millstone or any of the Hebrew Israelites the time of day. You know, they don't want to believe anything we teach. They want to teach the total opposite, even if they're dead wrong, which they are. You know, so he started to see it. And there's many scriptures in the Bible that you can't explain it unless you understand reincarnation. And it's just that simple, man. So Vocab Malone is a special kind of demon. So this scripture here, that the angel told the Apostle John he will prophesy again before many kings and peoples and tongues. If he didn't fulfill it again, when would he fulfill it? In another life. Now, why did John the Baptist say that he wasn't Elijah? Because he didn't know. Because the scriptures say that there's no remembrance of former things. That's why. Because the Lord takes that part of our memory out. So now the last point that I have is Psalms the 58th chapter. We're going to read through this. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do you judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? So who is this addressed to? This is addressed to you Edomites, which are known as the wicked in the Bible. And even the little caption on the top of the page says the punishment of the wicked. And who is the wicked on the planet Earth? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's ruling? The so-called white man. Who else is identified in the Bible as being the wicked? You have wicked among the other nations, even among Israel. But who is the nation that is identified as the wicked in the Bible? The Edomites. So if the so-called white man is ruling today on the earth, everybody's following his policies. Everybody's speaking his language, following his religions, whatever. And the scriptures say that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who are the wicked? So this is why we say that the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, beginning with the international bankers, the Amalekites, which are the chief house of Satan, and trickling down to the rest of those devils. And the Bible also identifies the Edomites as being the wicked. So, Vocab, you are an Edomite. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You're a special kind of demon. Because no matter how many times you get confounded, you still bounce back with some more bullshit. And you keep bringing back the same old tired argument. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, we keep smashing it down spiritually. But you just are either that retarded or you have an agenda. And I believe you have an agenda. You know, and you're just trying to keep pushing that because you're trying to pull as many Israelites away as possible, but you don't understand that you are a stumbling block that the Lord set up, just like all of those other individuals like Abu Kamar, Truth After Knowledge, False Prophet 666, and all of them are different individuals that were set up to teach against what we're teaching. They were all stumbling blocks set up by the Lord, and you had a lot of people that got taken by a lot of them. And where they at now? So do you speak uprightly, O ye sons of men, you congregation of the wicked? No, you don't speak uprightly. Because the scripture said, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly. It says, yea, in heart you work wickedness. Because mentally, you're working wickedness. But with your mouth, you're saying something totally different than what's in your mind. It said, you weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. And that's what you've done since you've taken over, since the Renaissance. You've gone around the earth and taken what does not belong to you, whether it's riches or paintings, land, resources, you know, everything. And that's what you devils do. And what did you use? You used plantation Christianity as your guise to do it. You went and you gave a decree to the Israelites here in America, and you read it in Spanish when you knew that none of them understood. And since nobody spoke up, you say, okay, this decree is decreed, blah, 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 whatever. Vocab, you're a special kind of demon, man. You're a special kind of demon, dog. The wicked are estranged from the womb. So you go off from the womb. And this is why there was such a big fight in the womb of Rebekah, with Jacob being the righteous and Esau being the wicked, because those were the two opposing forces and they couldn't stand being next to each other. That's what they were going to blows, man. If you could have taken some sonograms, Esau probably had a few knots on his head, had a black eye. Jacob probably had like a little blood coming from his nose, you know? Because they was going at it, man. I mean, I'm not saying that is exactly what happened, you know, just, you know, extrapolating, you know, but they were going at it, man. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let me look up that word, astray. I don't think I ever looked that particular word up. The word astray in Psalms. And then we close up. Let me read a few more verses, then we can close up. Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. Astray. The Hebrew word there is tha'ai. To err, wander, go astray, stagger. Yeah. So you go astray, you go wandering as soon as you are born. to wander about physically, of intoxication, yeah, of sin, ethically, wandering of the mind, yeah, your mind goes a wandering because you're the wicked. Scriptures don't say in vain that you accomplish a diligent search. To wander about, made to stagger, drunkard, be led astray ethically, to cause to wander, to cause to err, mislead mentally and morally. And that's what you do. You mislead people mentally and morally on purpose. So let's read that again. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Yeah, and that's what you are. You're the serpent's venom. Poisonous serpent. And you inject that poison in people by your philosophies, and eventually what happens is the people get taken by it, and it slowly chokes them. Why do you think these celebrities they try to get out after they sell their soul? They try to get away from you, but they already got that poison injected in them. There's no way for them to get away from that. Same thing with these people in plantation Christianity, these so-called pastors that are set up to keep the order of the gatekeepers. You know, they already been bit by that poison and they can't get out of it. And when they try to, what happens? They get taken out. If they try to grow a conscience, they get taken out. But some of them are such demons like Creflo Dollar, you know, certain entertainers, certain so-called politicians and all that. They're such demons that guilt doesn't affect them anymore. It says they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ears, and Vocab Malone is a perfect example of a deaf adder, because he is not going to listen, he is not going to take heed, he is not going to acknowledge. He knows, but he's not going to acknowledge it, because his job is to deflect. His job is to teach contrary to what we're teaching. That was what he was set up for, you know, to cast doubt upon the Hebrew Israelite thing for other Israelites coming into this to question it. I don't know, because Vocab Malone said, and that's what the serpent does, which that serpent in the Garden of Eden, which was an actual man, what he did was he casted doubt. And that's what Vocab Malone is doing. And Apostle Tahar said that Vocab is that serpent in the garden, that he looked just like him, and I believe it. I was looking at that big fat head he got. He looks like a big fat snake, you know, big fat anaconda that was in the, you know, which is an actual man, you know, but he does look, he do look like a goddamn snake, you know. So he was that actual man in the garden, man, you know, because that dude is a real demon. He's a special kind of demon, you know. I mean, you know, we say that jokingly, but hey, that spirit that was in that man that was labeled as a serpent is here. He could be on the earth, or he could be in the spirit world, but he's back. That demon is back. Verse 5, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Yeah, because the prophets are here prophesying, charming, but they're not gonna sing along with the tune, because their makeup is totally different than ours. Remember, two manner of people shall be separated, so we would not get together. And everything is set up in duality. You know, you have righteousness, you have wickedness. Their spirit emanates off of the wicked side. They can't do right. It says, break their teeth, O Most High, meaning break their power. In their mouth break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters, which run continually, when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows. Excuse me. Let them be as cut in pieces. Yeah. Let them be destroyed. And eventually Esau is going to be destroyed. But the elite, so-called elite, are going to make it, because they're going to be the first crop of slaves. It says, as a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind. Yeah, because the chariots are coming, both living and in his wrath, and the missiles and the lasers from the chariots. He says, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. And we will do that. You know, when the time comes, the kingdom is established, we're going to wash our feet in the blood of the wicked. We're going to get vengeance for what they did to us, man. And the scripture say we're going to meditate terror. Ain't no fucking way in hell they did all that to us and we're just going to be in the kingdom and say, oh, don't worry, Esau, we forgive you. Nah, fuck that. The Most High said he don't acquit the wicked. So we're going to get, we're going to get that devil. So that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous. Verily he is a power that judgeth in the earth. Why? Because this devil ain't judging for us. You know? He ain't giving us true justice. So the Most High is going to give us that true justice. You know? When the kingdom is established. And we will get our pound of flesh. Believe it or not. You know, so with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.